Hey, this is Matt with Option Omega. We've been fortunate to be around for a couple years, and today we're going to look at an old friend. So back in 2022, we did a cigar lounge, which is our informal YouTube show that is irregularly scheduled and always exciting. And at the end of the year, we picked some backtests of the year. We did the same thing in 2023. And one of the things that the Option Omega community became very well known for was double calendars. And I feel like anecdotally, I've heard a lot of people say that double calendars are dead. They don't work anymore, etc., etc. VIX has been pretty low spring of 2024 here. And as double calendars can be kind of a volatility trade depending on your deltas, some of them have struggled. But I thought we'd take a look and dive in our old friend and check out how they're actually doing. So first thing we're going to do, I just updated it to be current through today. So we're looking at the start of SPX dailies. This is a 6-7, so we're entering on Friday. We are selling the Thursday, buying the Friday expiration, both puts and calls. And the first thing we're going to do with this backtest is we're going to play with this setup a little bit. We've got a contract cap on here, and you can see this. You can see why this trade was such a legend. A lot of people were doing variations of double calendars and still are in the Option Omega Discord. Link in the show notes here in the YouTube comment box. If you look at this test, what happens is you start off with $5,000 and we have it 100%, but we cap it at 100 contracts. And I'm just showing how the test was originally set up. We're going to tweak that a little bit, try to get a little bit better of a curve here to maybe look at the results a little differently. We're going to still do $5,000 as the allocation, but we're going to do it as 10% of 50K. We're going to take off the contract caps because max contracts per trade is capping how many contracts we're actually putting on. So what we've got here is somebody starting with a 50K account allocating 10%. So the first trade is going to be about 5%. And you can see why these double calendars and double calendars in general kind of had a mixed reputation here of late. If you look at the time period from 2022 till almost the end of 2023, this trade was just absolute legend. As a matter of fact, we can run that backtest pretty easily. We'll just run it through the end of 2023 and you can take a look at it. If you look at the initial time period when it went on, again, since when daily started, it was really, really consistent. It always seemed to have periods where it went up and you never really got more than 2 losers in a row, maybe 3 losers here, but pretty steady. And if you look at it though, the beginning of this year, actually going back through last fall, it had a really long time period of being flat. So from maybe October 10th or October 8th, let's just test it. Let's do this. We'll go back and start the test in October. And a lot of people have speculated on different news events that prompted market shifts that happened during these times, so this trade may have done poorly. You can see why a lot of people stopped trading it, myself included. I had a variation of this trade, not exactly, but the same idea, and stopped trading it because it just had a really tough go. But if you look at here for, the last 2 months or so, we're in the beginning of June when this video is being made. And in April and May, this backtest has performed very, very well. So you can see that starting the beginning of April, it's had a good run here. And before that, we'll go back to the time period that had everything in it, which is this backtest right here. If you're new to Option Omega, I'm just looking at the recent tests. You can go back and forth between them with this View Recent Test button. You can see that the 6-7 is kind of coming back to life. Obviously, backtests are backward looking. They're not forward looking. I have no idea what's going to happen in the future. Nobody does. And if you do happen to have a time machine or a DeLorean, please let us know. But for now, what we can say is that backtest had its longest stagnation period from the end of October 2023. It took it 6 months basically to get out of that drawdown, but now it's had a pretty good run lately. So I'm not sure if double calendars are dead or not. This video is not going to be a long in-depth video exploring what may or may not have happened during that 6 months. Just wanted to observe that it seems like DCs have gotten a lot of grief through the beginning part of 2024, and perhaps rightly so. I always say every DC works just about finding the deltas, and that's probably true with any trade, you can say, to a degree, but especially with DCs. So I'm not sure if something's changed, if the market environment has made it more favorable. One thing I do want to play with, though, just to give you a little bit of meat here, is one of the things, again, on the Discord that's been brought up is trying some early entries. So we're gonna move the entry up a couple hours. I just picked 125 at random. We'll try a few other times. And right now we've got a 9.5 MAR, 7.5 MAR. So a little bit worse, pretty similar. Let's try, we're gonna try some random times here. One things I like to do when I'm back testing is I'll check a couple different times on entry just to make sure I don't have something that's skewing the results. A news, perhaps time when news drops like 2 o'clock or 3:50 for MOC. Even in the morning sometimes you can have a news spike at 10 or 9:45. So these are all a little bit worse than the original. I want to do one other thing though. The mirror of the trade graph is pretty similar, pretty high correlation. It's a little bit better. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to the time period here. And so this is the kind of the base backtest entering late at 3:55. So right before close on Friday. And this is during the drawdown / stagnation period that lasted about 6 months through the present day where there've been winners. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at a couple other entry times here. Let's try, we'll try this one here. We're going to see if lately the MAR, so we went from 3.7 to 6.3. Again, the graph is not dramatically different, but it's certainly a better MAR. There's a little bit of a worse MAR. I'm not sure if we can get anything out of this or not. Let's try a little bit before power hour 249. You can see how fast the backtests are running. It's very easy to iterate. Again, it's not really changing. You still have this stair step here. So I'm not sure if this particular backtest, some of them definitely benefit from entering early. I'm not sure if I can say this is one of them. I think we've already done 103. Let's do, we'll do a little bit earlier. $12.49. Yeah, it's a little bit better. I'm not sure. I might keep iterating on this. Not sure if the entry time is going to make a difference. I thought it was certainly interesting that, again, after a pretty rough time period, that this backtest seems to be coming back around. And reminder, the 6/7s, because of the Thursday expirations, those are the most spotty of the SPX expirations, even with dailies being, we could actually try this. Let me try this too. I'm going to turn off exact strike offsets. This might give us a couple tests. So right now we have 97 tests. Again, a 15% capture rate with a 69% win rate. Those are pretty good metrics. I think a lot of people would be happy with that. I only gave us one more trade. So not a substantial variation either way. And again, we've got some opening fees, cap profits. I'll do this just to update this to kind of the most recent thing for you guys to play around with. I'm going to do this. I'm going to put on some entry slippage. I'll put on some exit slippage. We've got some Punisher. So we've got 2 hits at PT and cap non-opening profits, which pretty essential in my opinion for most double calendar back tests. And we're going to ignore trades. You know, the other thing we can do, and I'll put this on, is we could look at using some blackout days for holidays, because those holiday weeks typically are not great for Vega trades like this. So if we do that, this is maybe a little bit more realistic, impacts the MAR a little bit, but I mean, you're still talking a pretty similar capture rate, a pretty similar win rate. And if we wanted to go make it a little more real life, like a lot of people wouldn't be trading these two back tests. So I'll just show you how to put that in. As you can see, yeah, here's why. Loser, loser. And you could go back and do all the holidays from 2022, 2023, and 2024. There are There are community-generated sheets on the Option Omega Discord that have these dates in. So we're going to do December 29th and the 22nd from 2023. And all you do for those is you just plug in these dates here. What did I say? 22nd and 29th. To get the ISO dates, you just select this use blackout dates, and then you put them in ISO format. So we're going to do 2022. I think it was the 29th and the 22nd. I'll check that here in a second. So right now we have 96 trades. If this goes down to 94, we did it right. And the MAR should get better since we looked at them and they were both losers as well. Yeah, there you go. So again, you could go on the Discord, put a bunch more dates in there, but just something to think about if you have put some of your 6.7s on ice. Maybe it's time to look at those back tests again. Also, if you have no idea what I'm talking about and you want to learn more about these magical double calendars, the Option Omega Discord is a great place to start. We've got a paid class on Academy. We have multiple free videos on our YouTube, and we have many thousands of comments and many dozens, if not hundreds, of shared DC backtests on the OO Discord. Thank you. Have a great day.